Batman '89, issue 1. Sam Hamm, which is it's kind of a silly name, but fair play to you.
Fun name to say.
Yeah, Joe Quinones on the art. This is obviously, in the world of the Batman Tim Burton movie. It's kind of like meant to be set in that same world. Afterwards, we're dealing with Harvey Dent, based on the Harvey Dent in that.
Mm-hmm.
So we got Billy D. Williams looking Harvey Dent. But it introduces some other things. It also, interestingly, brings in other things from like Batman mythos from the comics. It puts their own spin on it. Like it mentions Burnside at one point in this, which was kind of like, oh, that's weird. All right, but fair enough. Why not? I guess there can be a Burnside in this Gotham. This was okay.
Right. Okay.
I wouldn't like. It's kind of interesting seeing like, this bat suit, this Batmobile, dealing with like what's going on in this world like after the events of Batman, and I guess Batman Returns. I guess that's also happened, but I don't know if they actually mention it. It definitely, the city looks more like Batman '89 because there was a difference between the two movies. So one of the things they do is they introduce Barbara Gordon in this, as in Jim's daughter.
Right.
But based on the age of Jim Gordon in those movies, it makes sense that Barbara's also a bit older than she normally is. So Barbara in this is actually who Harvey Dent is dating, and actually proposes to in this issue. They're at a fancy dinner early on in the issue, and Barbara's a cop in this as well.
Weird.
Yeah, so we're going full, Elseworldsy with us.
Yeah.
It makes sense given Gordon's age though, that Barbara's already like in her like 30s as a cop. It does kind of make sense in a lot of ways. There's like a whole armored car thing going on and a helicopter trying to rob it, and Batman shows up for your kind of your first action set piece, and it's all right. It's just not, it's whatever. The giant penny gets involved here a little bit, so it kind of teases some other Batman stuff. Harvey goes off to like stop a mugger who grabs Barbara's purse. He almost gets shot. He kind of does something from Dark Knight where he threatens to shoot one of the muggers and uses the coin. Like heads, you die, tails, you blah blah blah. But just kind of lets them go. So it seems anyway. I will say there's definitely a couple of characters that aren't that modeled after the movie. Like Alfred's got a mustache, which he never had in those movies.
Not Alfred Go.
And the other character they have that's not that similar, although probably for the better, is actually Jim Gordon, because when you finally see Jim Gordon, he's still, a sort of chubby guy, he's still overweight like he is in the movie, but he looks way more like traditional Jim Gordon. He's got the mustache, it's not white hair, he's just a fatter Jim Gordon basically.
Right. So based off of the character designs I was seeing in the back of the comics, might have been last week, 2 weeks ago, I'm not sure.
Yeah, whenever they were.
That checks out then, because I think I saw that version of Jim Gordon. And I just was like, oh, okay, it's Jim Gordon. But I didn't even make the connection because I haven't seen those movies in forever. That I forgot that Gordon's a character in there, but he's not as we know him.
Well, that was the thing that struck me as really weird in this, is that this book really kind of pretends that Batman and Gordon are a lot more like comic book Batman and Gordon in terms of like their... Because Harvey Dent doesn't like Batman. Harvey Dent sees Batman as like a vigilante problem. And he wants to like sort of take down Gordon. He sees Gordon as being corrupt for like encouraging this vigilante. And there's some character stuff with Harvey where he goes to his old neighborhood and he's like his old mentor kind of gives him shit for not being around too much, but he's like no, these kids should see a black man who's in a prominent position, who's successful, who's not an athlete, or even worse, like someone like a dealer, someone who's like making a difference, right? And so it gets into kind of his history. It's dealing with the fact that we have a black Harvey Dent, and that's all good stuff. That's all solid. And he tries to like get Batman to show up by having the bat signal turned on, but he's put like a bar on it, so it's like a sensor sign going through the Batman logo. And yeah, so it sets all this stuff up, but like Batman's got like a direct communication system with Gordon where he's like talking to Gordon about this, and Gordon says he trusts him, and we're trying to make a difference. It's a lot more like Batman and Gordon in the comics where they do have like a friendship. Those movies, there is no friendship with Batman and Gordon. Gordon's just a fat guy who goes, "Yay, Batman, go," and that's it. There's nothing approaching that. So this was like, see if you built it up, see if you started it in this, like in sort of like, okay, we're going to build that up over the course of this mini. That'd be fine. Like, sure, like create it. but it's just pretending that it's already there. And well, I'm not saying that it has to pick up right after the movies by any means. It feels weird because that was not in those at all. Very odd. Like I'm fine with them introducing Barbara like out of the blue because like that's fine, but trying to tell us that Batman has this relationship with a character who already looks and feels different from the movies is just kind of like a step too far. Anyway, so he goes on the run from the police when he intervenes in something towards the end, a store robbery, and he chases down the perpetrator. It turns out, though, he chases down the wrong person because the person he chases was just someone who was in the store when this robbery happened and decided to steal some baby food. And, it's a thief, but it's someone who's stealing, like, supplies for a baby that you can't afford
stuff that they need.
Yeah. So, it's sympathetic. And Batman chases him down and, like, he's like, I'm not going to hurt you. Like, what's going on? And then someone in a black hood mysteriously attacks him and, has like a yellow like color underneath the hood, but otherwise it's just like you don't see the detail. It looks like they might be the person who was committing the robbery in the first place, although it might be the person who stole the baby supplies. But he attacks Batman and hits Batman off the fire escape. The police are there and want to try and take him in, so that's kind of your cliffhanger. And whoever this mysterious hooded figure is, like, hands this guy all the money he's got on him, which is $8, so not a lot. But yes, that seems to be a Robin of some kind, and they're introducing Robin into this stuff.
Is Forever in canon with the '89 stuff?
That's like there's an asterisk on that question. Like, it depends. Like,
right.
I mean, technically, the first two movies are in canon in Forever and Batman and Robin. But, like, is this comic, like, including them? Or is it just saying only the first two?
Right, because if that's the case, then introducing Dick Grayson undercuts Forever, right? But you're also Harvey Dent. He might end up as Two-Face. That undercuts the Tommy Lee Jones. So,
yeah, I think it's safe to say that this is...
its own.
At most, it's only including Batman and Batman Returns. And even then, it may just be Batman. Like, I mean,
so it's Halloweening 2018.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, the fact that we have a Robin here that is probably Dick. I mean, it could be a Jason, given the introduction's a bit more.
Right. That's what I was thinking. That's why I was asking about the canon of it. Not that it matters, but you could do Jason Todd as Proto-Robin.
It would be weird to have Jason before Dick, though, if that's what you're implying. But I mean, then again, all the other changes in this version, I mean, I guess who cares? But
I mean, Barbara is a 30-year-old police officer dating Harvey Dent, so
I will say they are okay. I don't always love it though. There's times when I feel like Batman's a bit skinny looking, or it's maybe a bit too clean, I think, for some of the type of action that it's going for. I wasn't necessarily like I wasn't feeling the jaw-dropping moments of seeing him in the outfit for the first time. I just kind of felt like, oh, there he is, rather than make it feel like a big deal. And maybe part of that's just in the sequencing and like not giving it a full page or a nice big splash moment to really get across. It feels a little bit simplistic in places. So it's just okay. Like I this is another one where if it's just the same amount of books next month, the same week this comes out, I'll probably give issue 2 a try. If I feel like it's a bit busier and I don't want to like squeeze it in, this might be a drop too. I'm not feeling super enthusiastic about this one. It's not a bad book. It's just fine, but I didn't love it. So, but here's hoping for Superman 78 though to knock it out of the park.
Yep.
Here's hoping. Here's hoping. So as far as rating goes, yeah, it's probably like a 6, I'd say.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Oof.
6 out of 10.